Skillet Sports presents...
Hey, Sizzle, what's up, baby? How you feeling?
What's going on, Jay? Let's get ready to make it hot, baby.
You're listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
Welcome in, everyone. You know what it is. You know who it is. It's The Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. You know who's in the building. I'm G Sizzle. He's J Sizzle. And we're in the building to talk about the Chicago Bears versus the Houston Texans. It was a it was a rough shot at the, it was a rumping at the stumping. Yeah, that was more like it. Yeah.
That's like an old movie I had a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes that works.
Before DVDs.
Yes, those were the long play VHS. When you get those tapes where it was like 2 hours long, you remember they had the 3 hour long ones, but I digress.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know who got off the bus running today?
One run.
Okay.
He got off and had one run. He got off and had one run.
You can't poo-poo my man for his one run. You cannot just be like, well, it was just one run, and you can't do that. You get an 80 yards head start. An 80-yard head start. First play out the gate. An 80-yard head start. 80 yards. They spot you 80, and you only rush for 113 total. Well, sometimes it's like that. So if you didn't know, the Chicago Bears took on the Houston Texans. The 6-7 Bears are now, and the 4-7 Texans. Ooh, it was kind of tight. No, it was never tight. This was a terrible game. This was the Deshaun Watson, I wish I had stayed at home game. And you have a Bears team that, they came in, they handled business. I have to give it up to my man. Now, Deshaun Watson threw for 219 yards. He was 21 of 30 with one touchdown. But
Amazing.
The man of the day was Mitchell Trubisky. He was 24 of 33 for 267 yards and 3 tutties. So he was the man who was putting in work. And to go back to what you were saying, Jay, we have to look at David Montgomery, who was 11. He had 11 carries for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. He had
10 carries for 33 yards. That's what he had.
Okay. So, let's break it down for the people very quickly because we've discussed this already. So how is it that you're minimizing the great efforts of the great David Montgomery?
All right. First thing, David Montgomery got loose on a very bad Texas defense one time.
Mm-hmm.
He broke the first play. Now, really good speed. He's faster than what I thought he was. He broke out 80 yards, got down there. Great blocking by Allen Robinson. Pay the man his money, please. And he scored. Fantastic. Now, he had 10 more times to run behind his offensive line and gets a decimated Texans team. And he only got 33 more yards for the rest of the game. So let's put this in perspective. Say that 80-yarder only went for 10 yards or 5 yards. Say it just got stopped. So that means that would we be saying the same today that David Montgomery had a great game if he had 11 carries for 42 yards?
No.
He got lucky and they broke one. He look, I thought he was going to have 160 yards today.
Yeah, you did mention that. You mentioned that because I thought he was going to be great for fantasy. I really did.
I thought he had 168 yards. Like he ran for another 84, 85, something like that, 86. All right, now you're having a good day. 86 yards on the ground and 10 carries, 8.6 yards per carry. You're having a great day that day. But to come and tell me that you only got 3.3 yards a carry after the big one? Okay. So,
he was your second leading receiver. He had a total combined of 156 yards because he had 3 catches for 42 yards.
I'm not saying anything about him as a running back. I'm not saying anything about him as a I think when he came out of Iowa, I liked him. I still like him. The problem is this offensive line is terrible. And they played against a team that was just more terrible. Is that a word? More terribler than them. I need to call Charles Barkley about that.
Yeah, I think you do, because that I don't even know if that's a word.
That's terrible.
I don't think that's a word, but okay, let's go with it. So you had your leading receiver was Allen Robinson. He one man. He was your man. He had 9 catches for 123 yards. Kudos to you for having 1 touchdown and 123 yards. After weeks of suckage, you, my friend, are number 1.
Look, don't blame Allen Robinson because you can't get him the football. You know, he shows what he can do. Give him the ball in space. If you give him the ball in space, he showed what he could do.
Okay. So he didn't have any space, and he didn't have any space because he didn't have an offensive line that could at least line up long enough to give the quarterback some time behind center. So, Jay, let's talk about it very quickly. With this line, from what you saw today, is this line good enough to bring back next year as constituted and with some tweaks be able to compete next year as a competent NFL line?
Why would you want to bring back a constipated line? No, they've been full of crap all year. So why would you? Oh, you said constituted. My bad. That's terrible.
Oh, that was a good one. I walked right into that one. Look, I actually walked right into that one.
Look, let's get some understanding going. It's not these guys' fault. It's not Leno's fault that he's been able to play 10 years in the league because he's an average offensive tackle in the league. He's played well enough to play left tackle in the league for 10 years or better. Now, that means he is a fantastic athlete. When I say fantastic, he's a fantastic athlete because he is playing in the National Football League. Don't get it twisted. That guy is great. He's just not an all-pro great. That's what the Bears need. The Bears need a couple of guys to go to be all-pros for this offensive line to be what it needs to be to protect Mitchell Trubisky, Tom Brady, whoever else you want to put back there, because any of those guys, Aaron Rodgers, there's some guys out here right now talking about, man, we get a chance to get Aaron Rodgers down here. You're going to get Aaron Rodgers down here, and he will literally get behind his offensive line and turn around and quit and go walk off in the sunset with Danica Patrick. That's what he'll do. You know, he'll take the one chin strap and just snap it down, and he'll be gone.
And just, but you know, he and Danica Patrick aren't together anymore,
as far as we know.
Well, I thought it was a chance, but I guess you're saying it's no chance. But that's okay.
Who knows? Rich people with a lot of money.
You never know.
They do what they want to do.
Yeah, you never know. Right. So let's look at it. Let's look at a time when the Bears in the early 80s, in mid-80s, from 82 to 86, did some tremendous drafting. Jimbo Covert, they got some guys on that line that were Hall of Famers. So at this point, I'm going to throw the question to you. If in this draft you have an opportunity to select a quarterback or a all-pro lineman, which do you take, Jay?
Well, we don't know if there's going to be an all-pro lineman, but you take a guy who, I mean, because they did have a can't-miss guy. Remember in their draft some years ago, that was a Stan Thomas or somebody like that, who was a can't-miss guy in the league. I think he had a cup of coffee in the league. But no, so you don't know. But all my efforts would be going toward this offensive line. All my efforts, because a great offensive line helps your defense. If you got plays where you're 8 and 9 plays in a quarter, 10 play drives. If you got those drives in, you're taking 6 to 7 minutes off the clock. That saves your defense. You don't need a great defense now because they don't have to play against that many snaps. When you have guys going going 3 and outs, 2 and outs because you threw an interception, these things kill defenses. And that's what you see here today with the Bears defense. They've been killed. Now, they came back and rallied up today, but they weren't playing against anybody. This team was terrible. They had 11 hits on Deshaun Watson. I think he was sacked 6 times, and he still threw for well over 200 yards on him. Still had, 21 out of 30? I think that's what you said. Still threw for a high completion percentage. You know what I'm saying? That tells you just how good of a quarterback.
No one to throw to.
Right. But nobody, where was his wide receivers? All his top 3 wide receivers are out. And DeAndre Hopkins is out there catching passes for another ball club right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the whole thing is that Deshaun Watson shows what a really good quarterback can do under duress. Mitchell Trubisky showed you what a guy who has no pressure put on him can do when he's athletic and he can get outside the pocket and throw the football. Did he make some good throws today? Yeah. But any quarterback out there looks good in pass scale. I've seen some guys who can rip it in pass scale, but you get out there in the game and them guys are running for their lives. You know, it's great to do it in practice, but you got to do what it counts. We saw Deshaun Watson under duress throw the ball around pretty well, but there was nothing they could do against this Bears defense because this Bears offense was just too high-powered for him, and now you made him have to go drop back and throw. They couldn't pick apart or try to pick apart this Bears defense because they didn't have it, so they had to throw the football. And this is the whole thing we've been wanting this whole period of time, was for the offense to get a lead, and then the Bears defense could pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. We know they can pass rush, but they didn't have the opportunity to do it before. So, I mean, you know, jump up and down, have club dub, doing what it did, David Montgomery, give him the game ball, whatever you want to do. But I wasn't impressed by this win.
Well, you have to be impressed with some of the defensive numbers. Roquan Smith had 8 tackles, 4 assisted tackles with 2 sacks. You had Danny Trevathan, who was everywhere, 4 tackles with assisted tackles. And then you had Mario Edwards come up with 2 sacks. And mind you, I said Roquan had 2 sacks. So you're looking at Roquan with 2, Mario Edwards with 2. Khalil Mack not only got a sack, but he got a safety. And my man, number 96, was back in the middle. You had Akeem Hicks back on the field. So this defense, as you said, Jay, when you had a depleted Texas team that didn't run well, that didn't do anything well in this game, you gave the defense an opportunity to pin their ears back and just fire at the quarterback and go after receivers and running backs. But my question is this, and I asked this question to my man Max, and I was talking to Mike, and I talked to Max Cedar earlier, and we were just talking about the game, and I was like, look, Mike, what do you think? What are your thoughts? So I'm going to ask you, Jay, did the Bears do themselves any favor by winning this game and lowering their draft position for next year's draft? Or was it just a good win and we should walk off with that?
No, first thing, no. I guess give it a no and a no. Okay, first thing, the Bears, it doesn't really matter right now about the Bears draft position because at the best they were going to pick was 14th or 15th or something like that anyway. I believe I'm right about that. So if you're going to, your top tier quarterbacks are going to be gone before then. So they were going to have to be fishing anyway, trying to find a quarter. Going to find what was it? And the second part of your question was,
or was it just a good win and you should take it like that?
No, it wasn't a good win. I'm going to tell you why it wasn't a good win. Because Mitchell Trubisky has probably played his way into another contract because of today. Because he's going to say, look what I was able to do when I was able to run the offensive scheme that fits me. You know, he was rolling out today. He was hitting those slant patterns. Now, Mitchell Trubisky has very good arm talent. Don't get it twisted. He has very good legs. He can run the football. And I think he's a relatively tough guy. I think he'll stick his head in there and play. The situation is he's just a guy who doesn't do well in drop back, 5-step and 7-step drops and reading defenses. He doesn't do that too well. So when you roll him out and you cut the field off in half, where he's just reading high to low, he's got one read or tuck it and run, Mitchell Trubisky's dangerous. When he can hit those hard slant patterns where he can just put his foot in the ground and throw that ball hard into the middle and in those slants, Mitchell Trubisky can through that. But is he the guy down the line? We've seen 3 years of this. Now, here's the question. Was Matt Nagy just that bad of an offensive coach? Or Mitchell Trubisky just wasn't able to understand what was going on? Because we saw Matt Nagy throw Mitchell Trubisky under the bus, saying that he's been in quarterback one-on-one, and now he needs to be in honors quarterbacking right now. You know, it's something like that. I'm paraphrasing that from Matt Nagy. So what I'm saying right now is Matt Nagy the guru, or is he just the boo-boo as an offensive coordinator? Because the problem is right now, was Mitch trash or is Matt Nagy's scheme trash?
Well, I'll take number 2. I think Matt Nagy is a number 2, and that is all boo-boo. That is all. I think it's all sharded. It's all boo-boo. It's all hedgehogged. I think it was a terrible. It's been a terrible completion of terribleness and disaster. It has been, Jay, a shame, a travesty, and a mockery. It has been a Travis mockery. One of your sizzle words for the day.
I had to bring it back. I had to bring it back.
Yeah, I had to throw it back again. So it was terrible.
That's terrible.
So look, Jay, before we go, we've got to leave the people with something hot. So tell the people something hot that gets them invigorated, something that gets them motivated. Tell the people something good.
Look, man, I'm telling you right now, if you are going to sit up here and try to play with some hot sauce you don't know nothing about, don't do it. If you in a Mexican store and you grab that green hot sauce with your bad self and you think it's just salsa verde and it's salsa, oh no. Look, let me explain something to you. I made some red beans and rice around the house, and that's what I do when it gets chilly outside. I like a little hot water cornbread. That's right.
Jay, what are you eating?
Right. And for y'all out there who don't understand, some of y'all in warm climates right now, y'all don't get down with the hot water cornbread and the red beans and rice, but it's a fine staple up here. It's a fine staple up here in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
And I found I made, and at the end, you know, you got to top it off with some hot sauce. Got to, right? And I looked up into my pantry there, and all of a sudden, my Louisiana hot sauce bottle was empty. And it's bad when you got an empty Louisiana. You can't get a couple more shakes out of it? Terrible. It's like peanut butter. There's always some more peanut butter in there. You always get one more, just a little bit. But anyway, there was no hot sauce.
All right.
And somehow or another, some way, somehow, somebody put some hot sauce up in my cupboard that said hot sauce, and it was green. And the little writing at the bottom was in Spanish.
No.
That should have been the first sign.
No, senor. No.
I uncorked that bad boy. I opened up and it had a little wood cork in there, like it was popping a champagne bottle.
Right. That the wood was the only thing that wouldn't burn up.
And I went to pouring that bad boy, shake. Like the Louisiana hot sauce, you can go like this. You can just be like, look over talking for you know, so forth and so on, you know, Mr. Trubisky through. You can do all that. But this here sauce, I would shake. And I got me an extra shake because, you know, I ain't no punk on the heat. You know, I can take a little heat.
So you took some more shakes.
Oh, 2 more, like I was bad. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know.
Take 1, take 2.
Look, let me tell you something, man. I bit off into them beans.
Woo.
Sweet Jesus. I was calling on, look, I went back to my old school roots of being a Catholic. I was calling on St. Christopher, St. John, that's just a town in Indiana where I'm at. I was calling on Mary, everybody, because I was on fire. I was a man on fire. But I had a whole bowl of red beans and rice. You're not going to toss out a whole bowl of red beans and rice. Man, I started eating that stuff. I just started stripping down. I looked like I was on spring break down there in Mazatlan back in the day. Like I was in the
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him.
Like I
cannot
was
coach with him. Can't do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it with you.
So I'm not gonna do it. I'm just telling you, you don't want to see me in a wet t-shirt contest. I'm telling you, do not shake that green hot sauce from Mexico like you know what you're doing, because you don't.
That was absolutely.
That's terrible.
It was horrific. It was terrible on so many levels.
Can I tell you another thing that was terrible? One more thing.
One more thing.
Speaking of hot, the Arizona Wildcats took it on the chin from the Arizona State. I can't even say their name. Kevin Sumlin is out of there. You should be. I don't know whatever happened to Desert Swarm. Please bring Ricky Huntley there. Please go get Ricky Huntley. He played in the NFL, he coached in the NFL for 5 or 6 or 7 years. He's now coaching please go get Ricky Huntley and bring him to U of A so that we are not the laughing stock. Because look, ASU is talking mad crap. And when I was down there, the guys I played with, we went down there to Tempe and they laid a big goose egg down there. So we got to get the pride back at the Arizona Wildcats. It's hard to be a cat when now they're playing like kittens.
Well, we have to tell you that Black coaches' lives matter. And so we're going to make sure.
Now, you get blew out 70-7, they don't. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Gotta go. But you know what you also got to go and do? You've got to go out and get you a wonderful gift for the holidays. And you know what we have? The best gift for the holidays is the Sizzle. It's the gift of giving. We give to you so that you can give to others. How do you do that? You say, hey, G, I don't know how to give. I'll tell you how you give. You go and you look for us at Iron Skillet Sport. Use the little @ sign and then Iron Skillet Sport. You can find it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Anchor, Spotify. Oh my goodness, we're on iTunes, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Stitcher, we're everywhere. And all you have to do is find us, give it to someone as a gift. You can say, you know what? Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, hey, Merry Kwanzaa, Happy Boxing Day to you. Whatever it is that you do on this time.
What is Boxing Day?
Boxing Day was originally, it was a European thing where that was the day that you get off or to give gifts and you put them in a box. That was when servants' day off, they actually gave gifts. And in giving gifts, it was the day after Christmas. It was the 26th when everyone who was a servant, they were off that day to give to their loved ones and family gifts in a box.
So it was just a day, a holiday made to re-gift the stuff you didn't want. That's basically what it is. Because you got that thing going, I don't want this lava lamp. I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to box this thing up and give it to Joe.
And that's the beautiful thing about the Sizzle. You can even re-gift it. You can box it up, send it to someone, and all you have to do is share. You hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And then for Boxing Day, now you've given the gift that lasts a lifetime. It's the Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Sports and Iron Skillet Radio. And to say that, we must say happy holidays to you. And remember, if you don't give the Sizzle, you will get a lump of coal in your Christmas stocking.
Wow.
Right? You don't want that. That's cold. Nobody wants cold in your stocking. It's too cold outside. It's terrible.
It's cold outside.
Yeah, and it's too cold outside for cold. So let me tell you this. For J Sizzle, I'm G Sizzle. We are the Sizzle, the talk of the 219. We are the hottest talk in the 219, and we will see you on the other side.